eyes gazing down towards the floor. Now just maintain that lift. Take a few moments and just begin to close your eyes. Now just let the hands just fall over the knees and keep lifting. Now what you want to observe here is to feel the entire torso lifted upwards. So you actually feel that your breathing is able to enhance. And really focusing more on diaphragmatic breath. Now gently bring the palms here in front, pushing that tailbone back. Try and keep the buttocks in contact with the ground. And then just begin to gaze ahead and walk your hands just one step forward, opening out the fingertips, grounding the palms to the earth. Keep the buttocks in contact to the ground, roll the shoulders back. Chest really lifted up. And very gently begin to walk the hands a little bit further forward. Now try not to strain the back of the neck, just gaze down to the floor. And just really find that space of stillness. Try not to rush. If you feel a bit of tightness, just very gently back off, lift yourselves back up. And then slowly we can ease into it. So take your time, be patient. Don't rush. Only come as far as you can. At the same time, gazing down to the ground so there's no tension to the neck. And now just begin to feel that extension. And just let your hands slide forward. And then very gently open up. That's really good, lifting all the way up. Now, uncross the legs. Let's try the opposite direction. So this time we are now going to work with the left heel coming into the pubic bone area first, and then bring the right heel in front. Now what you may find, if this is slightly different to what you're used to sitting, then you may find a little bit of discomfort here. Now gently gaze ahead, lengthen up through that spine. Just let the arms fall over the knees, keep that chest lifted. And you may observe one knee slightly higher than the other. If that is the case, then you want to be really observing that side of the hip. So there may be sort of stagnant energy that may be causing blockages there. Now bring the palms to the floor. Now keep the buttocks in contact to the ground. Now very gently easing forward. Now you may not be able to go as further down as you did, okay, by having the right foot in first. You might feel a little bit of tense coming down one side. So whichever side feels a little bit more uncomfortable, you need to work that a bit more. And continue to practice and be patient. Walk the hands a little bit further forward. Now just slowly opening up. Now gently easing forward. And taking your time, just observing that breath. And then very gently walk your way back in. Really good. Now, by now you should have already have gauged which side was easier, which side wasn't easier. So when you can answer that, you need to work the least flexible side a little bit more. But take your time, try not to force any of the movement. So let's bring the legs out long now. Now we're going to try sitting into Dandasana, lift the buttocks up. Now push the heels away. Now really feel that tailbone in contact to the ground. Now draw the shoulders down and away from your ears. Now lifting up into that chest and have the palms of your hand just resting to the side of the hips. Now as you push the heels heels away, toes pointing up to the ceiling. Feel your calves just nestling to the ground. Now keep that chest lifted up. Now gaze ahead of you. Now at this stage you can close your eyes. Continue to lift that chest. Now just observe the inhalation through the nose and gently exhaling from your mouth. And try not to force that breath, try not to hold that breath. Really feel the chest centre completely open. So feel the expansion of your lungs. And really feel that breath travelling a little bit further down, more diaphragmatic. Enhancing that breath. Now maintain that lift. Now very gently relaxing, opening the eyes. Really good. Now if you find you struggle doing Dandasana without the aid of a wall and you really find that your back is just slightly arching and collapsing, then try and sit towards the wall. Try not to lean into the wall, lifting up, but when you do feel a little bit tired you can just slightly collapse into the wall, okay, just to make it a little bit easier. Okay, now we're going to come up into Vajrasana, the thunderbolt position. Now this is one of my favourite postures. I work this one all the time, and I sit into this quite regular most of the time. What I love about Vajrasana is the only asana that can be done after we've eaten a meal. And this will really help you to digest your food. Now there's just a couple of little pointers when you sit into Vajrasana. Now you want your knees bent, your feet are turned out and your knees are together. Now if there's at any point any one of you guys out there any problems with your knees and you're unable to sit like that, please do the first two options that we've just done. Mostly I think Dandasana would be most favourable. Okay? Now if you are sitting here, try not to collapse. You want to lift up. You really want that tailbone protruding out, so the pubic bone very slightly tucked in. So you've just tilted the pelvis slightly back. Now place the palms of your hands on your thighs. Now lengthen. Now you don't want to take all the weight into the feet, so lifting up, gazing ahead, draw the shoulders down. Now here you can gently close your eyes. Now feel that chest open. And really feel that prana travelling through the body. Again, focusing on diaphragmatic breath. Now what's so lovely about sitting into Vajrasana, you will find after you've eaten a meal, it is the only yoga asana that can be done. And this will really help you to digest your food. So once you have eaten, if you come and sit down here, starting off with maybe 1 or 2 minutes a day and then gradually building it up. And you want to be able to sit into Vajrasana for at least about 15 to 20 minutes and really feel the benefits of that. And it's always a good idea to go to bed pretty much on an empty tummy if you can. Making sure the digestive process is completely completed there. And for that way you will feel that you'll have a much more sound sleep. Now continue to hold here, keep the chest lifted up, drawing the shoulders down, and just take a few moments and just begin to observe that breath. Inhaling through the nose and then very gently exhaling from your mouth. Now just continue to hold this phase and just start to feel the body grounded and feel the mind coming to a stillness. And try and lift that chest up and draw those shoulders down and away from your ears. And just feel that stillness in the mind. And then gently releasing. Really good. Well done. So they were the three of the most easy options to sit. Okay, so we're going to come back down to the front. Okay, so now we're going to take it up a little bit further. Now those of you who are able to do this next asana, then please follow that with me. If there are any problems with the knees and you're unable to do it, then please refrain from doing so. Okay, so seated on your buttocks. Now with the left hand, bring the right heel over to the left buttock, crossing the right leg over, bring the knees together, and now bringing the left heel over to the right. Now make sure here both of your buttocks are in contact with the ground. Bring in the palms of your hands and just have them resting on your feet. Keep the chest really lifted upwards. Now lengthening through this posture, and we will need to swap over on either side. Again, when you are holding into this asana, make sure that you are alternating the legs there, which would be so much easier for you. Now if you look down to the knees, make sure your knees are stacked up together, and then just bring the palms of your hands here, lengthen through the chest and continue to lift upwards. Now I'll do this over to a side profile so you are able to see that. Okay, so we'll uncross the legs. So now we'll start off with the right hand bringing the left heel over, and then bring the right heel over, and then crossing the legs. Now again, have your knees stacked up together, palms are just resting on the feet, lengthen through that chest, making sure both buttocks are in contact to the ground. Now chest lifted up and open. Really grounding to the earth, have the shoulders relaxed. Now again, holding these asanas, make sure you're at the right side and the left side equal amounts if you can. And try and hold these movements for as long as you can. Really will help to align the spine, so if there are any discrepancies in the spine, this will very slowly help to reverse the effects. Now just continue to observe that breath. Again, inhaling through the nose, exhaling from the mouth. And try and holding for at least about 10 breaths on each side. If you're able to hold it for a little bit longer, please do. And make sure there is a prominent gap between the shoulders and your ears. Make sure the back of that neck is lengthened. And then very gently releasing. Really good. Okay, well done. One of the hardest problems people find in the Western society is sitting on the floor. And what we do find over a period of time where we are unable to sit to the floor, we do tend to compromise with the posture, and most important, the spine. The spine tends to collapse over a period of time. Now, if these problems are not addressed quickly, then what you will find, they do become irreversible. So always be aware that you are lengthening through the spine the whole time, just to avoid any impingements and discomfort, especially around the lumbar region, and most importantly around the shoulder and the neck. Okay, we're going to lay down on the floor, just finish off with a spinal twist. Now lengthening the legs. Now always make sure feet are central to your head, hips are square. Let your feet naturally fall out and feel the hips just opening and the buttocks in contact to the ground, bringing the arms up to the shoulder level, chin to the chest. Now just take a few moments and just observing that breath. Now bringing your awareness to the right leg, take a deep breath in, bringing the right knee 90 degrees, Left hand coming to the outside of that knee. Very gently breathing out. Bring the right knee over to the left. Keep the head central. So very gently take your time. Work with your breath. If that knee doesn't reach the floor, please don't worry. And don't force that knee at any point. Continue to keep the head central. Shoulders, elbows in contact to the ground. Now let that breath very gently guide that movement. Now just hold in here, take a couple of breaths. And just feel the body relaxing to the earth. And then gently squeeze the knees, breathe in, lifting up. And then breathe out, very gently lower down. Now coming back to the centre point. Just take a couple of breaths before we proceed over to the left. And very gently breathing in, bring the left knee up 90 degrees. This time bringing the right hand to the outside, very gently guiding that left knee over to the right. Keep the head central, take your time. Now don't rush the movement. And very slowly, let that spine slowly begin to open, vertebrae by vertebrae. Encourage the shoulders, elbows to stay to the ground. Keep gazing up to the ceiling. Now again, if that knee doesn't come to the floor, please don't force it. Now continue to observe that breath, just holding for a few more breaths. Now once you feel you've come over as far